Is all right. Well, let's just go ahead and do this. Good evening, everybody. My name is Andrew Krug. With me tonight, I have got Jose Antonio Ray. Together, we're going to be your hosts of episode 88 of Behind the Scanner. Our guests this evening are Jim from Atlanta, Georgia, and Knowledge from Durham, North Carolina. So welcome, guys, to the show. Glad to have you. Kind of geographical neighbors almost. If you out there watching have a question for our guests, join us during live broadcast in our live chat room on our website, behindthescanner.com. Just go there, click chat at the top. You can ask a question for our guests there, or you can use the Q&A app too, which is also enabled. Let's see, what else we got going on? If you know somebody that might make a good host, you can submit their name to us at behindthescanner.com as well. Just click on guest suggestions. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, where you can also watch previous recordings. Do that on youtube.com/behindthescanner. All right, I guess that's about all the announcements we've got, so let's just get on with it and jump right into the show. Welcome, gentlemen. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Don't forget to unmute yourself. Everybody's got to do a shot.
Yep, thanks, Andrew.
There you go. All right. Well, let's just kick things off right now. Let's talk about how did both of you guys get started with Ingress, actually? How did you find out about the game? What kind of drew you into it?
So I guess I'll go first. I've been playing for about 3.5 years, basically since it started. So when I started out, it was more of I heard about it by hanging out on Google+. It's a Google product, so it was all over. But just like Gmail, when it first came out, you couldn't get an invite. So I actually had to go trawling in IRC chats and decoding hints and clues, and I actually had to decode some Morse code to get my first invite, which was kind of fun but annoying. It's the only time I've ever had to use an IRC chat, so half the fun was trying to figure out how to get in there. But ever since then, I've been going strong, and it's been quite a fun journey.
Nice. So decoding and all the mysteries that led you down the rabbit hole brought you here. Like it.
Yeah, it was a Morse code. They encoded it with alternating caps, so uppercase, lowercase for the Morse code, and it sure beats the heck out of buying them for like $50 on eBay, which I think was the going rate at those times for the invite codes. As a college student, you know, that's right out. No way in hell that's gonna happen.
What about you, Mr. Knowledge? Brandon, did you buy your code on eBay, or did you draw up something?
Nah, at the time I wasn't getting money like that. I couldn't do that. I actually had a really good friend of mine whose name back then was Tay Mustache, but now it's Odin's-Beard. He got me involved when we were working together back in like November 2012, and I tried everything in the world. I submitted photos and everything, and yeah, just couldn't get it. And he ended up finding someone with a code, and they weren't going to use it, so he gave it to me Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2012. And I took that code, and I was just so excited. I didn't even go to sleep. So, yeah, that was a great Christmas present.
So you went out. You probably didn't even put any clothes on, right? You just had your pajamas, had whatever. You just ran outside, started hacking things. Huh?
Man, ran outside, got in my car, drove down the street. I was in D.C. at the time, and I just started hitting everything and anything on Georgia Avenue, which wasn't much at the time, but man, it was fun.
Ah, so that was you that night. I remember that night. All right.
You and the other 10 guys playing, huh?
Yes, sir.
And how you guys describe yourselves as players? So has your playing style changed?
I guess since Jim had the first one, I'll take this one. My play style pretty much has been the same since the beginning. It's all about respecting each player that I come across. I never try to be anything bigger because at the end of the day, everybody's a person. You know, I mean, just because you chose Enlightened Resistance, you know, it doesn't mean that you're better or worse. And every community was different at the time. So, I mean, ever since the beginning, I've literally been that guy to help you out, contact you in calm, that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm very similar. I consider myself actually a pretty casual player when you look at like actually playing the game on your phone, on your scanner. Most of the stuff I do is outside of the game, organizing community stuff, just like Knowledge was talking about. I'm a facilitator, I think is a good way to describe what I do. I do a lot of operating so that other people can do what they want to do on the ground, whether it's field layering, blocking links, whatever. I also do a lot of anomaly planning so that other people can have fun while they're traveling all over the place for these crazy games that Niantic keeps coming up with. So yeah, I definitely think I put a lot more time into the meta game, as some people call it, but it's really the only way to get to meet people and to just the amount of impact you can have on different people's lives and the experiences that I've helped others have. It's just been amazing.
It's kind of a common thread when we talk to people. I mean, for us, when we interview, you players a lot, something that always gets brought up, and the people aspect of it. I mean, that's what makes the game. It's getting out there, it's hanging out with people, it's interacting with them. At least to me, and evidently to a lot of other folks too. So yeah, that's the meta game is pretty strong with this mobile video game. So speaking about going out and doing things, what are some of the things that you're most proud of? Some of the achievements in the game? Maybe it's a medal or something like that. We'll start with you, Jim.
Yeah. So my most proud moments when I first started playing, it was just throwing large fields. That was fun and all, but since then the game's changed so much. Once the anomalies started coming on, I have to say planning and executing anomalies is what I really enjoy the most. I don't have as much time to do it as much as I used to, but my most proud event is probably operating for the DC Persepolis event. Just the sheer number of agents that came out to that event on both sides was just a logistical just phenomenon, the way that went down. And the support I got as an outsider coming in and helping, since I'm from Atlanta, those guys embraced me pretty well, even for the planning process. And it's by far the largest number of people I've ever tried to operate at one time. I think I was bouncing around that I was ordering around downtown DC on the mall there, so that was kind of cool for me. And it always helps that we finally pulled out a win on that. A lot of the anomalies we operate here down in the southeast have been a little bit less favored towards the Enlightened, so that was really cool for me as well.
I thank you for your service during Persepolis DC, because I was there, and the eyes in the skies are man, that was a crazy battle, but it was a good one. It was a fun one. So thank you for helping lead to an Enlightened victory on that one. Sorry, Brandon, but home city, home place, home anomaly. So what about yourself? What are your favorite achievements or things that you've been part of?
You know, there's been a lot that I've been involved in from an individual player perspective, even from just global assistance, regional assistance, with fields and whatnot. But I would really have to say, like, I guess the most memorable is when I was a part of the North Carolina first level 8 portal farm. that was a great experience because I literally drove back up to D.C., hitting any city and every city I possibly could, and finding myself at the Darlington Fountain off of Judiciary Square. Pretty sure some of y'all may know who that is. And those golden statues, I was there on the 16th, and I was playing as long as possible. And about 3 a.m. on the 17th, we had the farm that we were scheduled to do, and by the time I had hit 8, I drove all the way down from D.C. at 3 a.m. in the morning, playing all night, just to put my final resonator on there to be the, it was like the 9th, level 8, to put on the portals in Raleigh, in downtown Raleigh. That was a great experience, but, I mean, that's right up there with my second greatest accomplishment. And I only say it's my second because of the time frame. And my second greatest accomplishment, I believe at this point in my life, with Ingress anyway, has been helping Ethan get his Illuminator badge off the van here in Greensboro, North Carolina. That was great. That was some epic cross-faction collaboration at the last minute. No one knew what was going on. It just happened. I had a bunch of people clearing the lanes and orchestrating it while driving around, taking out links, getting messages from various people and whatnot. I mean, that was probably like the most fun I had, orchestrating something that no one expected. Like, we just had a general vicinity of which the van was going to be, and from that we just planned it out and made it work. And that was the most epic moment, I think. Later in my Ingress career. Now that it's been like 3 years since I started playing this game, God.
Yeah, time definitely flies. And well, for everyone watching, you can interact with us live in our chat room on our new website, behindthescanner.com. Just go there and click on chat at the top, and you'll be able to join us. There's Jesse in there. He's given out some codes, so make sure to go in there, chat with us, and you can ask some questions as well. Jim, as a founding member of SCESIC, tell us about this group and why you formed it.
Yeah, so CSIC is a regional Enlightened group in the southeast U.S. And when we first started playing it, it was like everyone was a new player, right? It was very difficult to meet new people, especially if you can't travel, and figure out who is actually reliable in different areas. So the idea behind CSIC was to have a network of trusted people all across the region, so that if you wanted to have a large field op, you knew who to contact. And it's pretty similar. I think the Res have something similar called BRRN, burn, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure the details of that. We try to keep CSIC secret as well for obvious reasons. But yeah, just the advantage of having a regional network for just doing any kind of ops was really important, especially in the early days before Anomalies really had people traveling and meeting up together. And actually, back when we were first starting to set it up, we would kind of have our own mini Anomalies. Basically, we'd pick a town and go do have everyone meet up from anywhere from Texas all the way up to Virginia, everywhere in between, and we'd just roll an entire city, rent a van, and just have people show up. And it was a good way to meet people that you talk to a lot through the game and in real life. And the connections we've made through that have also carried over a lot to help out with anomaly planning and stuff like that. And you can tell because a lot of the people that I've met in that program have showed up on this program too, so you know we're doing something right.
Really cool, really cool. And Noah, can you tell us about your YouTube video sermons?
Yeah, it actually came from, I guess you could call it a dare. It came from just having a couple conversations with people on both sides. No one really could voice their feelings in the moment, in the heat of the moment, either doing a field op or getting involved with the community. And a lot of people said I kind of had a good way of telling good stories. So from that, it came into these YouTube videos that I created, random times, heat of the night, 4 in the morning type conversations, exhausted, and just explaining the feeling at the time. Or in one case, it was a situation that kind of prevailed a lot in the community, in everyone's communities. Just explaining the love of the game and why you even played in the first place, and why be out, and that kind of thing. I still do some of the sermons. I just kind of dropped off from it for a little bit. Life kind of has its ups and downs, and yeah, so that kind of holds a few things that you like doing. So, yeah.
I guess it's still online. People can just go and watch them.
Do you have a link? What's the?
Yep, there is a Sermons of Knowledge YouTube. I can provide you guys that link. If you actually just look up my agent name, you're more than likely to find it just by Googling it.
Sweet. We'll definitely add that into the notes for the show. So, all right. Well, it's kind of that point in the show where we take a little break, we let the guests get a drink of water or something, and we do a couple special things. If you're new to watching us, right now we're going to move to the Weekly Truth with Operation Essex, and the host with the most, Jose Antonio Rey from Lima, Peru, is going to be catching us up on the Ingress storyline. So everyone is going to put his Operation Essex investigator hat on. Jose, what's going on, man?
Well, let me change hats real quick. So yeah, I'm glad to be back around here to tell you what's going on with the Niantic storyline. This past couple days have been just crazy with the storyline. There's so many things to talk about. There's so many things going on around the Ingress world. But let's try and order them around and see what can we find in this interesting pieces. First of all, we have the key. Last week we mentioned that there was a key in Bologna that was supposed to be delivered to Seattle to Susanna Moyer in order to open a little metal box that she was holding. We didn't know the contents of this box. We didn't know what the box held. We didn't know how to open it apart from that key. And apparently, the Enlightened actually made a successful transfer to Seattle and gave the key to Susanna Moyer. They went on stage and they opened this box, which contained a pouch. They have not revealed what the contents are. However, today, P.A. Chappelle made a blog post on investigate.ingress.com, and this blog post contained proposals from both Jahan and the Acolyte. They were willing to obtain these documents. They were calling them artifacts. They were willing to get these artifacts, these Obsidian Journal, and they were willing to exchange something on behalf of those documents. P.H. Chappelle mentioned that the proposal from Jahan was going to bring a lot of intelligence. However, the Acolyte, who is on the side of the Enlightened, who are currently holding the documents, the proposal was the information that she would be able to give out would not be as valuable as the information that Jahan could provide. She would be given a reward, though. But since the Acolyte is on the Enlightened side, they may be leading towards her and towards her same purposes. So we're yet to see what's going to happen with that pouch, with that content, with this Obsidian Journal. A couple of days ago, it also surfaced on Operation Essex that apparently there was a second key to this box. There was a key laying around at the after party, so it may have been the same key. It may have been a second key. And there's some speculation over there, so make sure to head to operationessex.org and get some more information about that if you want to participate in the discussion, if you have any ideas what this second key may be. And finally, during Seattle Go Rock, there were some pieces, some document were distributed. Agents were recovering this pieces, and together they put a document that yesterday it was finally revealed yesterday. So these pieces were out in the wild during Go Red Seattle, and the Resistance had already passed on their pieces to Operation Essex. They were published, and we were just waiting for 2 of the pieces to go out. And a couple of days ago, if it wasn't yesterday, it was 2 days ago. The last 2 pieces were published by the Enlightened, and the final document was published by P.A. Chappell on investigate.ingress.com. So if you want to read more about it, go ahead to investigate.ingress.com. If you want to follow the storyline, you know what the page is, investigate.ingress.com. If you want to participate in our discussions, if you want to get a little more involved, if you have any speculations or any documents you would like to review, head to operationessex.org, and we'll be more than happy to help you out and discuss what's going on. And we'll see what will be happening in the next couple of weeks. It's very interesting. I'm really looking forward to see what this box contains and what the Acolyte or Jahan may be able to offer.
So forgive me if you mentioned it. I was digging up the codes of the show, but do you think what's your advice to the players out there that I think Big Matty's his name that's got the box? Do you think he should make a deal with Jahan or Deborah, or what's?
To be honest, I don't even know. It really depends on what they want to get. I would say my personal suggestion to them is just follow whatever they think is the correct path. Remember that each of them, Jahan and the Acolyte, they have different perspectives on the world, and they may be able to handle this information differently. So whoever you give it to, just think on the consequences and what will happen to the future. This is one of the few times in which we may be able to predict or see what's going to happen. So it's just a matter of thinking who may be the right person to handle it to, and just follow your heart and do what you think is the right thing. So yeah, in just a bit we're going to have the codes of the show. Again, just wanted to mention we have our live chat room, so if you want to talk with us, if you want to talk with the guests, just go to behindthescanner.com. There's going to be a little box at the top that says chat. Just click on chat and log in there, put on your nickname there. Jesse is in there again. He's given out some codes. And if you have some questions for any of our guests, both Jim and Knowledge, Jesse's going to be giving some codes as well for those people, for those who ask questions. So, yeah.
Jose, what do you think about the Lost in Power Cube that came out over the Anomaly?
I'm sorry?
The Power Cube that was released during the last Anomaly set?
Wow. So let's recap on that a little bit. The Lost in Power Cube is a new item that is already in the Portal network. This Power Cube is a little bit different from the normal Power Cubes. It's droppable, so you will be it's hackable. So you will be able to go to portals and hack that portal to obtain the Power Cube. But the different thing about this Power Cube is that it refills your XM bar as you waste your XM. So it's not like a normal Power Cube where if you go over your XM bar, the rest of the XM is lost. But instead, the XM in your bar will keep recharging until the Lost in Power Cube is gone. And the higher your level is, the more XM you will be able to get from this Power Cube. So these Power Cubes do not have levels, but instead, depending on your level, on the agent level, you will get more or less XM from that Power Cube. Currently, I have seen some reports from those Power Cubes dropping from Lawson stores portals. So if you are in Japan, go to any Lawson store and try to hack one. I assume that by the end of the week or soon, probably next week or 2 weeks, who knows, we will be able to get these Power Cubes from any portal in the Portal network. But these are very rare items, so make sure to stay tuned. There's definitely going to be some news. And if you see someone with a Lost in Power Cube and want to test it, I suggest you go ahead and go for a test drive.
How do you think the Paracube's going to change the upcoming Anomaly series for what leading them up?
Definitely. Let's want to move along, and we're going to have the code of the show in just a bit. I just wanted to ask both of you, how do you spend your time when you're not playing Ingress? Let's get started with Knowledge.
Well, before this year started, I actually would ride my motorcycle. But hard times, so I had to sell my bike back in November. But that was like my big release, just riding my bike. Now I spend a lot of my time playing different games on Xbox and PS4. Into Destiny right now, and Division when it comes out. My buddies are trying to get me to play Ark. I refuse. Other than that, the typical going out to a bar, drinking, hanging out with people, not playing the game, playing the game. It's all the same. It's fun.
And what about you, Jim?
Yeah, so I'm a graduate student at Georgia Tech, which is why I'm doing in Atlanta. So I do research on lithium-ion batteries, actually, which is of a lot of interest to a lot of Ingress players. Everyone carrying around their anchors and their portable battery packs. Our lab does a lot of research on trying to make larger capacity batteries, cheaper batteries, and recently we've done some work on some different materials that help out with safety of the batteries so that they have a less chance of catching fire. And that keeps me pretty busy during my off time. I also like to go, so while I'm ingressing, I also like to keep GPS tracks of where I've gone. I do a lot of ingressing in Atlanta around like hiking trails, urban hiking trails, and a lot of those aren't actually in Google yet. So I like to enter those into Google using Google Map Maker. And I recommend other agents do the same. It's pretty easy to do. All you need is an app that records your location and help someone else find some really cool hiking trails around you. And then one other thing I do is on the weekends, about twice a month, I participate in a community band playing bass clarinet, and it's probably about a 90-person group, and we have maybe 3 or 4 concerts a year. It's pretty fun.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Jim, you're getting married soon. Congratulations. How did you get your significant other to start playing Ingress with you? Was that a potential deal breaker?
Yeah, no. Actually, I was playing about a year and a half before she started. So she used to make fun of me horrendously for going out in the rain to try to get my couple hacks on that one portal and dragging the dog around the park, and she used to make fun of me all the time. But no, we were dating before Ingress, so unfortunately we didn't meet that way like many people do. But what finally got her interested is it gave her an excuse to drag me out exercising, so she could lure me out for a quick jog in the morning, or a nice long hike on the weekends or something. So she started playing, or started at least getting interested in it. And she really, before she started playing, she enjoyed making swag for people. So there's a lot of ATL, ENL shirts floating around the place. But I finally wore her down and got her to start playing, and since then it's been great. I think what finally did it is she came home with me for Thanksgiving, and all my family was playing too. She was tired of sitting in the back of a car while we were out and about. So yeah, it's been good times since then. But no, it wouldn't have been a deal breaker. She put up with a lot of my late night runs and my fielding commands or Operation Command Center taking over the dining room table late nights.
And is there any swag that she's designed that is currently on sale right now or going around the world?
Oh no, she's just custom making these things. Most of her shirts
Okay.
are sewn on kind of like a letter shirt. So she's made some large, basically the ENL logo, and stitched that onto shirts. And this has just kind of been thank you for local players that have really helped out around the community. Atlanta Enlightened likes to try to motivate people kind of by bribing them with gear. We get gear in and have like fielding competitions and stats competitions and stuff like that every once in a while. It helps keep things fresh.
Oh, cool.
Alright guys, we're going to try to do this real quick. I'm going to interrupt your broadcast, give you the code of the show while I've got actual internet connection. So with that, just like magic, here we go. It's the code of the show. These are limited redeemable codes. I don't know if they're good for 50 or 500. I've been told they've got some high quality stuff in them. I'm not really sure what that means. I doubt it's level 1 resonators, but hopefully if it is, it's 500 of them because everybody can use them to get that badge. So with that, we'll leave it up there. Wow, one of them's a really long one. Holy cow. Jose, you want to read that off for everybody?
ADPW5 resonate W2S5D.
Just set the word in the middle. That's not spelling, that's just reading. All right.
Okay, I'll
We'll
spell
leave
it.
it for a couple more seconds. Give it just a few more seconds or until my internet connection drops again. Whichever comes first. Going. Gone. All right. Back over to you, my man.
So, Knowledge, you mentioned that you initially didn't like to Glyph hack. So, what made you change your mind? Was it the loot or something else?
Oh man, there is so much hate for Glyph hacking. So much hate. I mean, the fact that when we first started to test the Glyph hacking and trying to see what you get out of it versus just normal hacking on a farm, and over here in North Carolina, most of our farms like 50 and 60 portals. So yeah, Glyph hacking that kind of requires some serious effort. But yeah, once they put that badge out though, man, everybody was on it. I mean, it white on rice on that one, boy. I mean, that was crazy. And when it came out, I got ballsy. I got real ballsy, and we got this cemetery that has about 52 or so portals that you can reach from your car.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and you know, I just have to say, driving around for 2 weeks, 6-hour days, yeah, sometimes on the weekend for 12, 14 hours, glyphing, you kind of get a knack for it, you know? So after learning pretty much all the symbols, I got to the point I was showing people how to do it. Enlightened, resistance. It didn't matter. I just needed somebody to be out there with me for about 4 or 5 minutes at least. I mean, it got to the point where it's just like, oh my God, I got to glyph hack another 400 and some points to actually make the day worth it. So, yeah, it was crazy. I didn't like it for a while. And once they had that badge out, I don't know, I just got a love for it. I do it all the time, pretty much every day.
And please make sure to not Glyph and drive.
Don't do that. Right. Yeah, I'm not going to condone that, although I've done it. Anyway, so the point I'm making is I got really into it, and I designed a coin called Glyph. It got a lot of notoriety, and it would be an awesome coin. Just haven't found the right way to introduce it to the community. But ideally, I'd like to find a way to crowdfund it. Just trying to find a coin designer to do what I want them to do as it pertains to the coin right now. But once it's married to a proper designer and the developer can get it done, hopefully you may see the Glyph coin around somewhere.
I love swag, and I definitely hope that coin is around soon. And for everyone watching, remember you can submit your questions for our guests. We will ask them in just a few minutes. If you are watching over YouTube, you can click on the banner at the bottom of the video that says part of the conversation. That banner should be around here. So click on that banner, and from there, just click the square grid menu icon on the upper right and select Q&A. We will be reading out those questions, and if you're in a chat room as well, make sure to ask some questions, and we'll be giving out some passcodes for those as well. Let's talk for a little bit about working your way up through the Ingress ranks. How long did it take you to get to level 8? Let's start with you, Jim.
Sure. Like I mentioned, I'm a pretty casual player when it comes to actual phone time. And when I started off, there just wasn't as many portals as there are today. You hear rumors about people hitting 8 in like 24 hours or something. That was just not possible back in the day. Our biggest farm for many months was like a 6-portal farm, which was awesome. You know, you could get everything you needed off of 6 portals. That was also back before multi-hacks and heat sinks were a thing, and you could just keep pushing the hack button as many times as you wanted before the server reloaded, and you get your own multi-hack. But it actually took me about 106 days to hit level 8. And during my Ingress career, I've averaged about 37,000 AP a day. And it's just been a slow, steady thing for me. It took me 106 days to hit level 8, and it took me 1,060 days to hit level 16. So definitely not in a hurry there. But I'll never forget when I hit 8. It meant a little bit more back then, just because there were so fewer of us. But I actually hit 8 breaking up a resistance farm in a cemetery at midnight. We have a yeah. Not only that, but it was snowing, and this particular cemetery, I wasn't comfortable driving around. We had probably had a caravan of 6 resistance that was driving around this cemetery at night, and little old me, a level 7, walking around the gravestones because I didn't want to drive. Trying to get that last little bit of AP to push me over. It was glorious. I'll never forget that. A lot of the res that still play, they still make fun of me for that. Sneaking up on them, jumping out behind trees, taking down their level 8 farm in the middle of the night. You know.
Yeah, hitting level 8 back in the day was something really interesting. I still remember the moment I got to level 8, and I still have the key for that portal. What about you, Knowledge? How long did it take you to get to level 8?
From December 24th to February 17th, 2013. Yeah, that, as I stated before, I mean that was a hard wrencher. That was a hard wrencher.
Around a little bit less than 2 months.
Yeah, I mean the trek was serious. Like finding portals that were green in our area back then. Oh man, you had to be a savage. Like you literally had to go from like North Carolina to South Carolina, or as far as like the coast, in order to find portals just to level up. I mean, in our area, there was like 40 portals in all of downtown Raleigh that was even like remotely drivable back in the day. And I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. A good percentage of every portal that has been submitted by my friend Odinsbeard. I mean, this guy, he is like the portal submission champion down here. Like, you can't go anywhere in Central North Carolina without seeing an Odinsbeard portal. Like, it's not even possible, like at all. But man, that trial and oh god, driving to Pittsburgh, Petersburg in Virginia, driving to Richmond. Oh my god, I had to do that weekly.
You've had your good travels.
You ain't lying, brother. Oh Jesus. All right, we need to move on to the topic. I don't even want to discuss back in the day no more.
And, well, one of the things that keeps us all playing Ingress is definitely the community. What do you enjoy about the community? Or tell us about your experience in Anomaly, in Operation, and how the community helped out each other. Jim?
Yeah, so the community it's a really amazing thing. I've seen it support people through hard times. I've seen people get jobs through the game. I've seen people get married through the game, have kids through the game. When you go traveling, you instantly have a ton of people that you can go hang out with. I've definitely just randomly hung out with people on vacation, you know. It's a strange game. It's the only game where you trust the people enough to get in a stranger's car and drive around a cemetery at midnight, you know. I'm sure everyone's had that experience. If you're not, you should try it. It's you'd be amazing the kind of people you can meet. Be safe, of course. But no, it's for the amount of overlap this game has with real life. It's amazing the amount of trust that the people have. I would have never have expected that starting off this game. I came before this game. I played geocaching quite a bit, and the social aspect is just completely different between this and that. Let's see, what's some other things? We've also seen a lot of support during like emergencies. So Atlanta had Snowmageddon that hit a couple years ago, which pretty much shut down the city for almost like a whole week. But we had people that were like stuck on the interstate for like 13 hours because there was no snow plows, no salting equipment, anything like that. We had people even cross-faction who were like, come over, stay at my house. Like, where are you? Where are you stuck at? Just come walk. I'll meet you halfway. It was just amazing the amount of support that I've seen through this game. And that's not even including like service projects and stuff. That's just people being nice to each other. It's an amazing thing.
Wow, great stories. And what about you, Knowledge?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a major proponent of the community. Like, I mean, I've been able to receive 2 contract jobs when I was in between jobs over the past 3 years, thanks to Ingress agents who not only trust me but consider me, you know, a friend. I've been invited to Thanksgiving gatherings, being that I'm so far from family. You know, I've had people help me in dire straits when, you know, I needed rides to other parts of the country. And, you know, I mean, my lifelong buddy, yeah, he's from this game. he not only started me in this game, but he's been with me through the crazy stuff that I decided to do. Some of which I cannot speak about on this broadcast openly and legally. But yeah, I mean, without the community and without this game, life would be really, really, really boring. I mean, I've met so many different people that I would never in my life get a chance to meet. Not just because of like where I'm at, who I am, or anything like that, but just the sheer fact that like our circles would never touch. You know, people that have been really, really awesome. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And I invite anybody to come to North Carolina and hang with Naj. At any point in time, we drink, we party, we hack stuff.
So you've been having some good fun. Okay, guys, are you ready to answer some viewer questions?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, let's go ahead with some of them. First question goes for Knowledge. It's from the Bacon Quake. Do you have a favorite mod and why?
A favorite what?
A favorite Portal mod.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So let's get to the next question. Metaphor is asking both of you, what badge are you the most proud of and why?
For me, Trekker is probably my favorite badge. This whole game's about moving, getting out and experiencing things, seeing new places, and the health aspect for it, for me, has been really interesting. I probably do most of my ingressing on foot or bicycle. So for me, just the fact that they thought to make that a badge, it's also not something anyone can take away from you. You know, it's something that casual players can compete with just as easily as non-casual players, hardcore people. Most of my good experiences, or my best experiences in Ingress behind the phone, have been walking, not sitting in a car. So, yeah, that's probably my favorite.
And what about you, Knowledge? What's your favorite badge, or the badge you're most proud of?
Besides the glyphing badge, I would have to say, man.
So many options.
I would have to say Illuminator.
And that's my second.
Yeah, I definitely have to say Illuminator. I mean, it's the only badge that requires you not just to do your part, but it requires you to do your part with the community. And like all these people I've met, all these people, you know, who, like Jim was saying, that trust us. I mean, that badge means more to me than the Founders badge. Like, you can take Founders badge from me. I don't care. I am so proud of that Illuminator because of the people that I worked with over the years. Because it's, I mean, you can't put a price tag on that. Like, you can't even say, you know, oh, I did this myself. You know, it's not a selfish badge. It's that one badge that you sit back and look at like, God, we really did cover Richmond together. Like, you know, you sit there like, oh my God, I just threw this link to God knows where. You know what I mean? Like all of the stuff that encompasses making a field as a team, like, yeah, that's what Ingress was about. Like that's the whole purpose of it, you know?
Yeah,
As an operator, I definitely agree with that, and that's my second favorite badge. Unfortunately, I tend to, as someone who sits behind a computer, I help other people get those, you know, so that's even more community.
Exactly.
So, another question for both of you. Do you have an Ingress bucket list? Is there something you must do in the game before you retire or the servers are turned off? It may be a tough question for some of you, but Jim, I think you have an answer in mind?
I don't. That's a great question. I I have one thing I would put at the top of my bucket list that I have done is capture a portal via airplane. And it's also one of the most dangerous things I've ever done. If you think driving while ingressing is bad, try flying while ingressing. But the real kicker is the speed lock. So you have to actually get a plane down below, what is it, 35 or 40 miles an hour in order to do scanner interactions. And if you're not familiar with flying, it's very dangerous to do that. If a plane's not going fast enough, it actually can't produce enough lift and falls out of the air. So that's something me and my dad have done. It took us quite a while to get the right airplane, airspeed, and pick the right portal to be able to do that on. But we were able to finally do that out on coastal Georgia. And unfortunately, it got spoofed down, wasn't good enough for a Guardian, but that's got to be up there as a bucket list crossed off for sure.
What about you, Knowledge?
Yeah, I've been sitting here trying to think about that one. I mean, yeah, bucket list wise, it would have to be, going to every country I could possibly find and find a knowledge portal, or get in touch with someone that has a knowledge portal key and pass it over to me, and then making a field off of every knowledge portal key that I get. Yeah. But before I don't think I'll ever quit as long as they got the servers up. But if I had to say the one thing that I probably focus on that I really want is my Onyx, my Onyx destroyer. Like I need that. I just need that. That's just a pride thing.
It's time to go farm for more XMPs. Let's get another question for both of you. So let's see what do we have over here. Okay, this is a funny one. Have either of you brought towels to anomalies, and how useful have those towels been? Yes, actual towels.
It's like we have some Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy fans in the audience.
Right.
I actually have. When I go to anomalies, I tend to go as a bike team member, and you can work up some serious sweat, especially in the southeast. One of the worst or most physically demanding anomalies I went to was a bike team in Jacksonville, Florida, and oh man, we had people falling out left and right from the heat exhaustion. We actually had to plan some people with going around with chilled water and stuff like that just to take care of it. But that's probably the most use I've ever gotten out of a towel at an anomaly. But no, I can't say I bring them that often. It's extra weight,
No, that's your opinion?
Well, you never go anywhere without your towel. No matter what, always know where your towel is. I would say it came in real handy for a couple of people. But my towel is actually Odin's beard. Anytime I get sweaty, I just wipe my face on the shirt and I just keep going. He's my human towel.
Okay, next question. So we have Lit and co-watchers are wondering how other folks support their community's growth. What about both of you?
So what ways to make our communities grow? Is that the
Yeah,
question?
how do you support your community's growth? Maybe swag or helping recruit people?
Yeah. So the biggest thing you can do is to talk to them. Um, I find over and over again new players have a hard time meeting people just because the communication opportunities through the app are really difficult. You can't like friend someone, you can't make a private chat with someone inside the Ingress app. So the what I found over and over again is the people who stay in are the people who actually can get outside of the scanner and communicate on a different platform, whether that be Hangouts or something else. And that way you can actually start planning with people. So if you're trying to grow your community, just trying to find a good way to talk to them outside of the app is the best way to do it. And whether that's by meeting up with them at a bar, having a grill out somewhere, having game nights. So once you can actually talk to them and invite them to stuff, those are really good ways I've found.
I'm a huge proponent of meeting up at the bar. That is best icebreaker in history.
Okay, so let's get one last question for both of you. Uh, so the game has changed so much from the time you both started playing. What has been some of your favorite enhancements to the scanner, and what's been your least favorite enhancement to the scanner?
Yeah. Least favorite? Least favorite, I would have to say, is a Mufa G right now. That Mufa G, man, that's worthless. Absolutely worthless. I'm not getting the proper productivity. Not right. That's not right. But the best enhancement by far is the key management that they've done lately with the key capsule and allowing multiple keys to be distributed into the capsules and vice versa. I mean, that by far was finally a stroke of genius on the part of the team that's been developing this game. Now all I got to do is continue to take further suggestions from the community. It'd be great.
What about you,
Agree with that. I fully agree with that. Inventory management has been a nightmare since day one. Even the simple addition of capsules was a huge step. It used to be you couldn't even see how much inventory you had. So you would show up at a farm and you might hit item cap very quickly. So the strides they've made in inventory management, I think, have been just critical in making this game enjoyable for real players. I definitely have memories of meeting up with a player and spending 30 minutes dropping them like 300 items, one at a time.
Amen. Amen. Dropping individual items was a pain, but it had to be done.
So I guess that's all the questions we have for now, and all the time we have for questions now. So it's time for a BTS tradition. For better or for worse, we give each and every guest at the end of their interview 60 seconds to talk about whatever they want, give a shout out, or absolutely whatever. Whenever you're ready, Jim, why don't you start? Or let's go with you, Knowledge, for a second.
All right. 60 seconds. Here goes. Be kind to every player you meet, no matter what color in the game they may be. They're still people. No one is better than anybody else, no matter what they say, no matter what they've done. Everyone is a player in this game, and everyone in this game has something to contribute. Your level of productivity is key. So my suggestion to all of my resistance players, and even the Enlightened in some areas, if y'all are cool and like to go out and drink, hang out with different people, holla at me. But I suggest everyone try to maintain at least 1,000 MU. That is something that anybody can do. If you do that, you are productively helping your community. Do it. End of the day, shout out to all of my people in North Carolina, all of my resistance in North Carolina, all my 16s across the world. Love y'all. Without y'all, the game would mean nothing because you've been here from the beginning. You made it into something. And thank you to every player out there, because without y'all, I wouldn't be able to drop the knowledge.
And now it's time for you, James. 60 seconds, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I can't really beat that. Everyone just be nice to each other. We're all just playing here. We're all in it for the same thing. Get outside your car, leave your car at home, go walk. It's not that cold out. Of course, it's coming from someone from Georgia, but as far as shout-outs go, all my ATL Enlightened, and you guys are awesome. DC Enlightened for that last anomaly I participated in. Y'all keep doing your thing. That was amazing. Seasick, y'all keep doing your thing as well, and hopefully I'll see you guys IRL.
Well, thanks to both of you, Jim and Knowledge, for being here. It was great having you in our 88th episode. And yeah, join us next week. Happy hacking, agents. Ooh. Wait.
We have survived.
Surprised? Where? In the chat room?
No, survived. With all the technical glitches and everything, we have survived.
Yeah.
I made it back. You like that quick switch?
Yeah. You crits.
That was fun.